This Monday, you guys submitted your rough drafts for peer evaluations, and last week you submitted it within the Blackboard submission box for me to look at them. And I did look at all your drafts, and all of you received feedback from me. And if you haven't looked at it already, go into your grade book, and over there click on the assignment, and you will see there's a holistic grade on, I believe it shows right within the grade book, but if you click on the assignment and open the assignment, it will have those little bubbles, and if you click on the bubbles, it will show you where I'm suggesting something. I looked at the introductions, I looked at your thesis statements, and I looked at how you incorporated resources into your paper, and I gave feedback based on that. And I had already made this clear the previous meeting that this is how I'm going to look at it, because it is basically a completion grade. And this is one important point I want to make over here, that you might have received 100 on the rough draft. That does not mean that your paper is flawless. You could actually have a paper that might get you a grade, a C grade or a C minus or a B grade. Still, you would receive 100 on the rough draft because you met those requirements. You completed all that was required for that assignment, even though I did provide feedback within the assignment. Okay, so don't let that 100 fool you to believe my paper's flawless and now I'm going to submit it for my final draft. Definitely look at the peer reviews you've received, feedback from your peer. Look at the feedback I have provided and make changes. Most of you, your rough drafts were exactly at 4 pages, which is what the requirement was for the rough draft, but the final draft is supposed to be, I believe, 6 to 7 pages. 6 to 7 pages does not mean 5.5 pages. It means definitely complete 6 pages. You can go into the 7th page. I am sharing some of the errors that I saw on the drafts. Look at this. We talked about indirect quotes last time, and I told you no matter whose work it is, you will cite the person you are reading, not the original source, because you did not read the original article or the original author's work. You can add the original author's information in the attribution tag, but the parenthetical citation will only say the name or the title of the article that you got the information from. So this was the original code that I shared with you guys, which was from Rubio's essay. I'm coding Rubio, and while I'm still coding Rubio, I have thrown in another quote that he's used in his article or his paper, and then I said coded in Rubio. You will still credit the indirect source in the parenthetical citation. But how can I add the information in the attribution tag? That's what I've shown here. So it says, Rubio states that the issue of healthcare does not come up in other industrialized nations, despite spending more per capita on healthcare. So what I did I closed the quote that was directly from Rubio, and then I added an attribution tag to credit the original source that I didn't read, but Rubio used. So I added a little statement, a signal phrase. It says, he further shares that according to the findings of Senior Vice President and Senior Research Associate Melinda K. Abrams and Rosa Tikkanen from the Commonwealth Fund, and here the quotation starts, and notice that we are still using the 3 quotation marks, and then in the
parentheses, we add coded in.
And that too we abbreviate quoted, and we say QTD dot in Rubio. A few more things. When you're sharing a historical background or information that is not common knowledge, cite the source to that information. If you feel like this information, I know it because I've been studying it for a while, or because I'm taking another course on it, but I don't think Professor Kaur might know it, or maybe if she knows it, my friend James or my friend Melinda doesn't know about it. So basically trying to say it's not common knowledge. Okay, cite it. So cite every time you use numeric findings, and most of you did okay on this. Where the error came was when you cited information or data from the visual. Okay, yes, this visual, you created the visual, but you did not do the original study. You did not do the original research. Someone else did the collection of the data, and you use that data to complete this assignment, right? So now that you're using those numeric findings in your paper, even though you've said figure so and so shows this, this, and this, anytime numerical digits come into play, you are going to cite the source that information comes from. And fit your visual within the paper. And I'm going to share an example over here. In this case, there's a paper. It starts with the title block, title, and then there's the introduction. So just so that the document wasn't too lengthy, I put in the visual right here. So notice, here's your paragraph and here's your visual. Now the student's explanation would be, it didn't fit there, so I just put it over here. No, don't do that. That gives a very negative impression. Instead, try to fit the visual within the area that's available. Now here, just from minimizing the visual, it's fit into this area. Now I can still go back there and see how much bigger I can make it. If I go any bigger, as soon as it fades out, I know it won't fit there, but right here, okay? So now it's still fit in there, and now I don't even have to say anything. You can look at it. The paper looks better. The paper looks like it's not trying to fool you to believe it's long enough, but it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's putting everything where it's supposed to be. Now the source citation did not follow it, did not fit in there. That's fine. You can finish it there, and then next you can start your next paragraph. So fit the visual in the text to where there's no empty areas, okay? This is a common error students do as well. So here's an entire paragraph. There is no attribution tag in the entire paragraph, and at the end there is a parenthetical citation. Don't just vaguely place your parenthetical citation at the end of the paragraph. It makes me seem like the entire paragraph is coming from the cited work. It could be that it's just this one sentence the person is trying to cite or paraphrase, and the rest of the information is their own, but how am I to tell? You're not following the sandwich rule in this case. Remember, we talked about the sandwich where we have the attribution tag, the information we borrow from the source, and then we have the parenthetical citation. So basically, it distinguishes between your work and your source's work, and it clearly shows me, okay, this is what my student is trying to say or is saying, and this is how he's supporting the paper. Sharing strong attribution tags like something like this, they add strength to your paper, okay? And that's our goal, to write strong, controlling papers, right? The prompt tells you everything. It will tell you to add tags. It will tell you to add citations. It will tell you to bring counter argument into play. It will tell you to have a strong controlling thesis statement. How do you make your introduction strong? Start with a definition. Start with exigency. What is the need for the discussion of this topic? How is it important? How is it going to affect your audience? Use the introduction to fill in any gaps, okay? And once the gap is filled and your audience is at the same level as you, they will understand you better. You've written your drafts. You know what you're doing. You've listened to my lectures. You've got the prompt. You know you still have to add more length to the draft. Some of you already wrote longer drafts. That's good. But go back, look at them, to remove any wordiness, remove anything that seems unnecessary, because it's not adding value to your paper. If you're being redundant, if you're just saying things for the sake of length, it's not adding to the strength of your paper. Does that mean, okay, I think I said everything well enough, and if I write any more, I'll probably be dragging the issue. So should I stop at page 4 and tell Mrs. Carr that I think I've done a good job? If I drag it anymore, I'll probably make a lower grade. No, that's not what it means. It means read more. Go back to your sources. Go look at them. Go look at any other point that can bring more value. You still have to meet that requirement of length, okay? By not dragging the issue, but by learning and informing or giving yourself more knowledge about the issue and then bringing that knowledge within your paper and sharing that. So the Writing Center, once you've got your draft, you've got everything, it's good to get someone to review the paper with you. And, this is an online service. You can go to UTSA and in the search engine type the Writing Center and this will pop up. You can make appointments online and you provide them your email address and then you'll show you what their schedule is. So this is a resource you guys have. Definitely take advantage of it, okay? Don't wait till the last minute because everybody is going to crowd them over the weekend. So use the time wisely. Try to make an appointment upfront and early enough. And the other thing, take the assignment prompt with you. Okay, we're not going anywhere. This is an online meeting with the tutor. Have the prompt ready. Share the prompt with the tutor so that they know what the professor is asking for. Okay, the of the Writing Center herself is a professor with the writing program, so she knows about these assignments, but you won't get to talk to her. You will have the tutors. So let them know what project you're working on. And I want to share with you another resource. This is not a UTSA resource. Maybe in the future they might adapt it, but right now we don't have it available to our faculty and students. But good thing is Grammarly has a free version of it, and the free version does a lot for you. And there's no limit, like in a month the free version is going to end. You can keep the free version for as long as you want. So this is a resource, grammarly.com. Definitely download this on your devices, on your laptops, on your computers, because this will help you capture a lot of errors that you might miss, and it would be nice to clean it up before you submit your final draft. So I think they also have it for Google Docs now. So don't accept every change they say, because most of the times the change is not required because that is what you're trying to say, and Grammarly is not understanding it. But other little things, Grammarly does a better job. I'm going to put you all in breakout rooms. These breakout rooms gave you a chance to meet with each other and get a bit more familiarized with each other. So why don't you guys discuss with me what you came up with?
I was in a group with Handi and Sophia, and for the biggest challenge we faced drafting our paper, we all kind of agreed. I think that the biggest challenge was kind of deciding what the balance between topics and evidence, because when you have a broad topic, it's easier to find like a lot of evidence for it, but it's harder to shape like an argument around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to shape an argument around like a really specific topic, but then it's harder to find evidence. So just kind of like using that evidence to kind of shape our argument, and then having to shape our argument along with the evidence, like that kind of back and forth was just kind of the hardest part, I think, that we found.
How did you guys overcome this challenge?
I think it's a challenge that we're still kind of working towards or through in our final draft.
Mm-hmm. What helps in this kind of situation is, like I said in one of my previous meetings, read your articles, leave them alone. Then try to remember what all you can recall. And from that, try to formulate a working thesis statement. When you have a thesis statement, it's kind of like a map for you, and that can help you stick more towards your narrowed topic than the broad topic, okay? But of course, yes, that can happen. There's so much research out there, there's so much data out there, but it's kind of like having your ideas and using the research simultaneously back and forth. You will have to sometimes tweak what you've got together. Try to formulate an argument without bringing in sources first, okay? Just maybe in your mind or just in your rough draft. We're talking about pre-writing at this point. In your pre-write, Jot down all the ideas you have. Okay. Don't try to remove anything at this point. Just write. Don't worry about sources at this point. What have you gathered so far? What's the information you get? Then from the pre-write, then start to move towards, okay, now I'm going to narrow this topic. Now I'm going to take this direction. This is what my source stated, and I really think this would bring value to my paper, and I'm going to incorporate it into my paper. And then you can work around those things. When you work without a pre-write, you don't have any idea, basic draft to work with, then issues can happen. But I'm telling you, strongest writers face the issues you are facing. So these are legit issues, and I'm glad you're understanding them, because you can only overcome a challenge if you understand the challenge. So good job there.
I think all of us are going to go back and kind of refine our papers in terms of like word choice and things, and also expand on some of our points in order to increase the length.
Definitely, definitely. So like I believe Dominic, the first student who spoke, he mentioned some of the papers did not even have enough sources. And the other issue I also saw in some of the drafts was the 7 sources were listed in the works cited page, but they were not used in the paper. And we had a whole discussion regarding this, I believe, last week, that works cited itself means that these are the works I've cited in my paper. So if you're listing a source down there, make sure you're using it in your paper. And the more you read your research articles, the more information you will get. Don't assignments broken into smaller parts so that it's not all of a sudden everything is upon you to do. You've already got the research, you've already got the data that's required in there from your graphics creation assignment.
I just had a question, just a general like hypothetical question. So for my essay, it's about student loans and the effect on student loans on students and by their financial futures, the economy as a whole. So would it be kind of extra information, or would it be kind of wrong to maybe put like an extra paragraph in maybe as a possible solution to this problem? Or should I just focus strictly on the problem and the effect it's having on the economy, and then just not provide a solution or anything like that?
It would actually be a fantastic idea to do that. That's called a proposal argument. You're proposing a solution to the problem. So not only did you bring in the exigency, not only did you discuss what the issue is and how it's impacting the student body and the economy as a whole, but you're also proposing a solution. Make sure your solution is strong and it's not left with loose ends like, okay, so if we're going to do this, what about this? What about that? Like, let's say the government should give more money to the students. Now, where is that funding going to come from? Is going to be the first kind of question.
Yeah, like it had to be backed up. Like it had to be backed up by sources or
backed up by sources or examples of someone else who's done it before and other countries that have done it before. There, we can take it to show the audience that here, look at an example from another country, how their education system is working and how loans don't come into play, or if they come, how that works, that kind of thing. Okay. So you are working on your final drafts. And if you noticed, the peer evaluation discussion board is still open, and it is only open until tomorrow till like 6 a.m. I've left it open so that you guys can read the peer reviews. I would suggest download the documents so that you're not left with, oh, I don't know, I have access to the evaluation anymore. This week you have the quantitative analysis, research essay that's due, your identifying common knowledge quiz is due, logical fallacies quiz is due. So now this week, work on your paper, work on creating a strong final draft. Okay,